We are so pumped to welcome Thomas Rhett to Pure Country. How are things going? Getting ready to actually come to Canada very soon.
Really good. I wish it was colder in Nashville so that I could prepare for that aspect of being up there. But the music side of things is going really well. We got to rehearse this whole week and just getting me back with the band and starting to get your brain prepared for how the show's changing and remember how you did it in October.
Yeah.
We're having so much fun getting back and playing music, and it's been since 2019 since we've gotten to come up there and play with you guys. So we're ecstatic.
I think the last, because I've seen you play shows in the States because we're in Nashville now, but
Yeah.
I think the last time that I got to hang out with you in Canada, we actually did that Pure Country Soundcheck Party at
Oh, that's
Budweiser
right.
Stage in Toronto. And we got to
Yeah.
like hang out with a bunch of people. And that feels like it's a very long time coming that you are coming back to Canada because your Canadian fans obviously love having you. And I feel like you actually have a lot of Canadians in your band.
We do. There's let's see, my guitar player's from Whitby,
Yep.
Ontario. My drummer's from Oshawa, Ontario. So it's a big coming home for them. Like this is their favorite time, and it's become like one of my favorite places in the world to play.
Oh, for sure.
Going from the West Coast, all the way over to Toronto and London and Ottawa, like uh, it truly is like it is my favorite place to play. I love it. I feel like the fans up there are just so kind to us and really come in just wanting to hear a wide variety of songs, rather than just the hits. I feel like a lot of our Canadian fans have done just like a lot of research on all of our old records, and I've already getting, Instagram and Facebook posts of like, can you play whatever? And I'm like, dang, that was like first record stuff. I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to see if the band can remember that, but that kind of stuff gets me really excited. So it's been a long time coming, and I'm excited. We're right around the corner.
I can't even imagine how hard that is for you because you have so many albums and so many songs,
Yeah.
and you're guaranteed gonna miss playing a song that someone in the crowd was going there to see you play.
For
How
sure.
do you do that with like new album cycles and everything? Sit down and decide like, okay, we have to make a hard decision here. This one maybe isn't gonna make it on this tour.
Yeah. No, it's hard. I mean, I would say that like, our rehearsals are like 70% set list and 30% actually rehearsing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Figuring out flow. Have we played too many ballads in a row? Why are people getting up to go buy a beer right now? Maybe we need to wake them back up. So it's, obviously like we love playing the hits, obviously, because, those are when the majority of the crowd really knows your song and they can sing along and feel like they're a part. But at the same time, I think for us this year, we're kind of sitting there going, what have people over the years said? Why don't you play this in your show? To
Right.
finally being like, why don't we play this in our show? And asking those questions. And, I mean, there's songs that we didn't play in the past for just fear of losing attention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like for fear of like people being like, I don't really know this one. So I don't know. Let's just wait till the next one. If I can't, I feel like we're kind of at the point where it's like, do we love playing this song? And if the answer is yes, then it deserves a spot in the set. Because if we don't love playing it, there's no point. There's no
Right.
point in playing it. So,
Yeah.
but it is complicated, because if you truly played everything everybody wanted to hear, you'd be up there for 4 hours.
Yeah, you would be playing for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say set list is definitely like the hardest part of figuring out a tour. But once you finally get it and you run it down a lot of times, you're like, man, there's no gaps in this. Like this feels solid. That's always a really good place to land. So
And I think too, it's so strange because you haven't been back to Canada in so long that there's a lot of songs that you haven't even had the opportunity to play live for Canadian fans that have
for
like
sure.
gone number one on country radio.
Yeah. No, that's always super exciting, because in 2019 there's four songs that hadn't weren't even in existence yet.
Right.
I hadn't even it ain't even come out of my mouth yet. And so to be able to go back for sure after 3 or 4 years, and also with so many new songs and a show that no one has seen yet, is there's just an excitement around it that I can't describe. Like me and the band are just itching, to get up there and play. So
I can only imagine. And you're bringing some really cool special guests with you
for sure.
to Canada, which I feel like is always something that you put a lot of thought into who you bring out on the road with you. And it shows when you go see that live show, it just makes sense on who is on the set with you. How pumped are you to bring the crew that you're bringing to Canada?
I'm so excited. I've been such a huge fan of Jordan Davis like since day one, you know.
Same. Yeah.
And every time I'm around Jordan, it's just kind of like we've kind of always been friends, you know, even though we've really never hung out. It's just like anytime we
Really?
see, no, we really, I mean, we both have a lot of kids and there's just not a lot of time, you know, but anytime we see each other at award shows or we run into each other in Arkansas when we're duck hunting or whatever, it's just always kind of just an immediate, yeah, we're kind of the same person, you know, like we both love to write songs, we both love our families, we both love to have fun, we both love to play shows, and we've done a lot of brainstorming about how we're going to incorporate each other, you know, into my show this year, and it's going to be
Nice.
a very, very cool experience with me and Jordan for sure. And I've still yet to meet Kameron Marlowe, but I'm kind of just inundated by his voice. Like
He is incredible. My gosh.
my a guy that plays guitar for me and sings background sang like all the BGVs on Cameron's album.
Oh, cool.
And so my buddy Reedy, who plays in my band, was just like, bro, I don't know who you have, you know, going before Jordan, but you should really consider Kameron Marlowe. And as I started to dig into Cameron's music and, you know, started following him on the gram and all that kind of good stuff, I was just like, this dude seems awesome and seems like somebody that I would click with immediately. And that's really what I'm always looking for. You know, like I'm not looking for somebody that's got a million hits. I'm looking for somebody that really loves what they do and someone that I feel like is going to really connect with my audience. And I think that Jordan and Cameron are going to go make a ton of new fans up there in Canada and crush it. So I'm
For
really looking
sure.
forward to it. Yeah.
I know I keep encouraging everyone. I'm like, when you're going to the shows in Canada, get there early because
For
I
sure.
have been a fan of Cameron Marlowe's for a long time. So I'm like, get there from the very beginning because that, you know, that's where you're giving an artist like him a chance to be discovered by Canadian fans where he maybe hasn't had a chance to. So always go early for the openers.
Yes. That's kind of been something that I've tried to preach, you know, for a long time and just try to build that culture around this is not just about me. You know what I'm saying? Like we bring these people out here for a reason because they're freaking awesome. You
Yeah.
know? And even like last year, my buddy Connor Smith opened for us and Parker McCullum came out with us and you know, Parker's a huge deal in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and all that kind of stuff. But like we kicked off the tour in Massachusetts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a place that Parker probably hadn't played many shows at. And when we got there, the place was already 80% full for Connor and damn near 100% when Connor was on. And so it's like, I love that we have gotten to build this culture of like, hey, please come early. Please
Yeah.
meet a new friend. You know what I mean? Like whoever you're sitting next to in section 204, like make friends with those people and bond over what you're about to experience over the next 3 hours. And so it's been a blast getting to headline and kind of get to be in control of like how the night is experienced, you know, because
Oh, yeah.
it's just as important as getting up there and doing your stuff. So yeah, we're jacked.
I'm so excited that you're coming back. Do you have plans to take any time off in between shows to go hunting with the boys or do anything, any sort of winter activities while you're in Canada?
Nothing's in season
Okay.
there. I checked. It's probably because everything is frozen. And every
Yeah.
bird has migrated south. If I was a bird, I would have too. But I don't know. We're gonna try to ice fish. I've never ice fished before,
Okay.
so we're gonna give that a go. I'm only coming home once. This will be the longest I've ever been away from my family in my entire touring career. So
Well,
coming home for
wow.
Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Gonna knock out Valentine's Day, and we really don't have a ton of off time. We have like random, like like maybe one day in Edmonton, a couple days in Toronto. But it's pretty. We got 10 shows in like 16 days, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
pretty packed. Yeah,
Man, that's got to be so tough because my husband and I, travel for work obviously a lot. And we always say we have like a limit of days we can go away from our son.
for sure.
You have four just
Yeah,
beautiful children. How are you on FaceTime constantly when you're away?
for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, FaceTime is the most incredible invention
Yes.
of our generation. You know, like I don't know what else could be created that could help you be connected with somebody besides that, unless at some point they invent holograms. You know, and your
Yeah.
kids can like be in the front lounge of your bus hanging out with you. But yeah, you know, I'll come home for a couple days after Calgary. Make sure I get all the hugs and kisses that I can stand. You know, before we head back out on the road um, but that they were going to try to come up, but our little two haven't gotten their passports yet, and that's been kind of a challenge to be honest with you, in the last couple weeks. And so, but yeah, I mean, it kind of is what it is. Like Lauren and I usually have like a 10-day rule,
Yeah.
and this might exceed that by like two. So we're
2 days.
making one exception for this trip. So
That's so hard. We just got my son's passport like right before we were leaving, and we had already planned to do the road trip back to Canada. We just returned like a week ago. And
right,
yeah, if you can fly, flying is definitely the better option than,
yeah, for sure,
14 hours on the road.
for sure.
So what song are you most pumped to finally get to play for Canadians? Obviously you have the new song, Angels Don't Always Have Wings out, but is there a song on your set list that you are most looking forward to seeing Canadian fans react to?
Honestly, that one.
It
If
is.
I could pick one, yeah. When that record came out, I remember we did this like live stream
Yeah.
thing or whatever, and me and the band got to that song, and I remember that song wasn't supposed to be in the set, but something in me was like, you need to play this, and I played it acoustic, and I think it's just my favorite song to sing, period. I don't know if it's the content or the melody or whatever it is, but there's something about that song that like I get lost in it. You know what I mean? I think it just because it means so much to me, and it means so much to like to my wife and our marriage, and kind of
Yeah,
all the stuff we've been through over the last decade. And so, I think there's a lot of people that can really find themselves in that story.
for sure.
From one person to the other, it's like, how have you put up with me? How, thank you for being so gracious with my flaw, which I feel like is a pretty universal thing to say. And so, I'm a big ballad guy. I mean, I love playing up tempos, but when I get like a really just heart came from the soul wrenching ballad, those are usually end up being my favorite ones to sing during the show. So, and I've yet to play that song in Canada, much less anywhere, because it's so
Yeah.
new. But that one for sure I'm excited about.
Well, I'm so pumped to get to hear you play it live, and so excited that you are finally bringing the party back to Canada,
Yeah,
with Jordan Davis and Kameron Marlowe. Thank you so much, Thomas Rhett, for joining us on Pure Country, and pack your parka because it's definitely
yeah.
cold in Canada.
I'm packing my bibs, packing rubber
Yeah,
boots, the whole 9 yards. So
yeah.
thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.